The slippery slope of criminal entrepreneur that push from the very bottom of life and rise to the head of the criminal syndicate, abundantly described in literature, feature films and television series, but there aren't many game adaptations in such fertile ground. And Cartel Tycoon confidently fills this niche, and although Cartel Simulator does not forget to raise the ethical aspect of criminal business, it still focuses on the business side of the phenomenon. Business is business, and when this issue concerns colossal money turnovers, emotion goes to the background, bringing to the forefront the ability to manage resources, skillfully manage subordinates, completely interact with authorities and competitors, if necessary with the use of firearms arguments. Our enterprise starts without a wide scope, with a couple of farms where different crops are grown, and warehouses from where all the grown good will be distributed to the nearest distribution points. However, if airports and marinas do not fall within the radius of the storage facilities, then we will have to add a transportation company that will link our network together. It is also worth making sure that each building remains operational and is provided with all necessary raw materials, and stocks do not exceed the threshold of capacity, because it will attract the attention of the police. Further development of the business depends on the personal preference, and of course the desire establishing complex technology process. To create a higher quality assortment, you will have to scrupulously study the production chain. For example, selling cocaine will require a combination of cocoa farm, a dry and laboratory. Heroin production requires a chemical plant, and to follow in Walter's 5 footsteps, you will have to make long and hard improvements to factory buildings in order to be able to brew methamphetamine. For such improvements require certain technologies, which can be found in the branch development tree. There are also other improvements to almost every aspect of our business, from increasing sales to creating paved roads that will deliver our products even faster. And you can also get a shop where our illegal goods will be packed into quite harmless vegetables, but it would take a colossal amount of clean money to start exploring these and other key technologies. Laundering rusting precedent is a hassle, especially in the early stages of the game, when the prevailing profit margins are pretty dirty. After all, to wash money you need to damn a ham wash money city establishment where you can arrange above diet duty savings, are purchased exclusive for a honestly errand. If you do not build at least one laundering office at an early stage, there is a risk of slinking a dirty cash, and the party in this case is better to start again. In addition, city buildings have other useful functions. For example, building a cathedral or a stadium will add loyalty among the locals. A university will give us the opportunity to study more advanced technologies, and a casino or a salsa club can host special events that will allow us to become a cult figure among the citizens. People's law should not be neglected, because it's not a mere indicator that feeds the exhibitant's ego, but a serious help for business. The favorite of the crowd and enemy gangs attack less often, and the police more often look at your cases through their fingers, and our lieutenants in the battle are more effective. But if this indicator drops to zero, the angry citizen will immediately take the helpless capo to the pitchforks. The same thing will happen if your business gets dirty in the blood of our competitor of the police. With every skirmish, with every seize of enemy indicators, with every crime committed by some unstable lieutenant, the terror index increases, and with it the intensity of raid by the authorities on our properties, blockades or sales channels and production buildings increases. And of course, as soon as the scale reaches the maximum, the special forces will trade the drug lord with a portion of fleet. To maneuver between the desire to make quick expansion, the law of the people and the attention of the authorities will be 3 different game modes. First of all, of course, is a story mode. A couple of scenarios of different complexity and duration which plunge into everyday life of crime bosses. Unfortunately, they turned out to be rather tedious. The dramaturgy here is not successful at all and resemble in presentation from some mobile game of a similar genre. The stories are extremely straightforward. The characters are not kept with their own character, and the very literary basis of the game gives rise to the unflattering word graphomania. But the story mode has a much more significant problem. They don't let you play at your own pace, forcing you to completely into the framework of game sequences and conventions. The sandbox looks much more attractive, where you can control the cattle as you like. Here from the start you can choose a couple with a preferred set of abilities, as well as a region. The terrain, or more precisely the local soil, largely determines what kinds of goods well dealing with, and therefore the complexity of production process. Here you can also customize other parameters, such as capital, both clean and dirty, the cost of studying technology and construction, prices for goods, and much more. In short, the model is fairy tale. And if the drug lord everyday life suddenly likes spice, you should definitely pay attention to the survival mode. Some of the parameters have also customized in the game itself. You will also to face the intrigues of the corrupt police chief Pontifical Ramus, and also with the residual risk of bankruptcy and constant threats of violent death. In short, an inter-simulator of a criminal existence. So to sum up, Cartel Tycoon is full of interesting findings and quite subtle nuances that will take a couple dozen hours. However, the deeper we delve into the world of the cartel life, the more obvious its problem becomes. The main one is extreme and wilderness, express is too many technologies and require for their opening. The pleasure is also spoiled by very strange balanced future, bizarre location mishaps and completely unpredictable piles of random events. The latter are able to destroy perfectly built empire in a minute, like a tornado sweeping away a house of cards. Perhaps we should have cooked this product a little more in early access, and then it will become out in the highest grade. So, Strange as a Game is a curious economic strategy game with tons of fascinating nuances, game modes for every taste. Disadvantages is but the plot one come out frankly and successful. Some chains are terribly drawn out and the gameplay is also as well could use some balancing. Graphics is visually Cartel Tycoon is quite simple and even to put it bluntly unimpressive. However, some graphical elements, for example construction screens, animation of various processes, character portraits, still manage to match the chosen aesthetic. Sound design turned out to be more functional than authentic. Processed situation and events have their own defined and quite recognizable sound, which help to navigate more easily to the nuanced game world. And general impression is not ideal, but quite fascinating economic simulator in unusual entourage of cartel everyday life. There are curious nonsense and a potentially strong basis, but in general a bit dumb. Thank you for watching.